So, thank you all for joining. I know you all people know about me, but still I'll tell few things about me. I'm Dr. Sweetie Bhatnagar, Pediatric Occupational Therapist. I have certified in MNRI in reflex integration. Since 8 years of experience I am having working with the pediatric setup. So, how it came into my mind to start this vestibular webinar, because somewhere I feel the parents are lacking with the knowledge of little bit related to vestibular. So one question I will put with all of you, like, what do you know about vestibular? Can anybody among you tell me what do you know about vestibular? Hello? Are you able to hear me? Can anybody among you tell me what do you know about vestibular? Anyone, anything? Okay, good. Anyone else? Movement related, yes, good. Anyone else? One more is there. Switch on your video. Inner ear seeking. Okay, that's good. So, it's correct actually. Vestibular is related to the movement first, then it comes to the balancing. Balancing is related to proprioceptive input. I'll tell you how you can differentiate between vestibular and proprioceptive. Who is Saranya? Can you switch on your video? Make a session interactive. It will help you all. Okay, so can you tell me about vestibular? Can you tell me about vestibular? Yes, it is first related to movement, then it is related to balance. Okay, so I'll share my screen and I'll tell you what is related to the vestibular system first and how it is helping to work on processing problem, how it is helping to work on sensory issues. So I'm sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen? Can you all look to it? Is it clear? Okay. So, first of all, I'll tell you what is vestibular system. Actually, vestibular system everybody have. It is universal, gifted by God. It is the inner part of the ear, very small part inside the ear. This system provides the contribution to the sense of balance and special orientation for the purpose of coordinated movement and balance. So what this mean? Actually, first of all, it provides the sense of balance. It don't provide what is balance. Child should have a sense what is balance. So how it will get this? How the child will get the sense? Whenever we move head in any direction, either we move head when we getting up, either we move head when we are sleeping, when we are jumping, when we are eating. Rotation of head, just a single movement of head will tell the sense of balance and space orientation. So when the child will get both these senses, balance and orientation with the space, then it will come to the coordinated movement and the coordinated balance. So this vestibular is a part of inner ear. Whenever we move head, it creates sense. So how we'll get input? First I'll talk about ourselves. So how I'll get input? Suppose I'm sitting on a chair. If I am turning like this, so this is the movement of the head. Still the inner part of the ear is working. So if my inner part is coordinated with other movements, is my inner part sensory processing is coordinated with other 5 senses. So I will not find any dizziness. I can simply move. Okay. Are you getting me? So the vestibular input is received in the brain every single time we move our head. Whenever we are moving our head for each and everything throughout the daily activities till we sleep, each and every single input is to be given in the this inner ear. This is the only the inner ear provide all the inputs. This is only the vestibular system overhead, because the receptor for this sensory system are located deep within the ear. So that's why I tell, if the child is having a problem with auditory, like seeking sounds, tapping, okay, if the child is having a problem with auditory, like tapping continuous, making sounds, okay, hearing loud noise, that means that vestibular system is affected somewhere. It might be hyper. So this is the very important sensory system which we have to work. Balance and coordination will always come in picture if this thing is proper. If inner sensory system is proper, balance, coordination will automatically come. Okay. So our vestibular system is so very important because it is linked to, this system is linked to vision, auditory and proprioceptive. Among you, one person gave me answer, it is related to balance. Okay, so balance is related to proprioceptive, and when it will come, when there is a proper connection between vestibular and proprioceptive. These two things are mandatory, managed by the inner ear only. It is universal for all. And what is happening with children? It is hypo or hyper in some children. Generally, we don't find hypo in this case, because ear is directly, this balance is directly related to the gravity. This is the area which is managing by, this is the important part which is managing by throughout the body, and the feet is managing by the gravity. So if any child is having problem in the inner ear, vestibular sensory system, there will be a disturbance in the balancing, coordination, eye-hand coordination, auditory, visual. Are you getting me? So if this system underdeveloped, now what happened to these children? If the system is underdeveloped or processing problem, then the following difficulties child will show. First, difficulty in sitting still. They don't sit still. There are so many parents who complains about their chief complaint, my child don't sit. It doesn't mean if the child don't sit, he is hyperactive. It doesn't mean at all. There are high chances the vestibular sensory system is affected, is under processing. It is not a problem. The child is not understanding how to process the vestibular sense. That's why he is not sitting still. Poor handwriting. Handwriting is somewhat related to proprioceptive and vision. As I told you in the above line, that proprioceptive and vision is indirectly related to vestibular system. Okay. Poor core strengthening. There are high chances children do W sitting till the age of 8 to 9 years also, if you are not working on the vestibular sensory system. Poor attention. Attention is directly related to vision and auditory. With attention, there is no work with proprioceptive. It is directly related to vision and auditory. Poor motor planning and problem solving. Motor planning and problem solving is somewhat related to higher cognitive skills. Motor planning and problem solving is related to higher cognitive, because once the vestibular system is proper, then perception will automatically become normal. Because if this processing become normal, child will not do all these things. He will sit still. He will not having problem in handwriting. He will not having problem in core strengthening. No poor attention. So when these all 4 points will come in picture, this 5th point will automatically come in picture. Are you getting me? Is there any question till now? You can ask. Be free. Should I proceed? I can't hear you all. You all are there? Okay. So, can you see this photo? See, this is the receptor in the inner ear. Now, what happened? Brainstem is directly connected to it. Okay. Brainstem is itself divided into 4 parts. As people say, no, cerebellum is a problem, ocular motor is a problem, spinal cord is a problem, thalamus is a problem. Like, if cerebellum is a problem, there will be a problem in coordination of the eye control, head movement and posture. Are you getting me? So all the nerves which are related to cerebellum, they are directly going with the brainstem and connecting to the inner ear. So most of these children are having difficulties in processing with the cerebellum. Mostly you will find processing with the cerebellum. Now if there is a problem with oculomotor, what will happen? There will be steadiness in the eyes at the head and body move. What you will find, there are few children who will be having squint vision. There are few children who will be having squint vision. You will find children with these, they are having squint vision. So what will happen in that case? The oculomotor nuclei is not transferring within the brainstem and reaching to the inner ear. The nerve is already there, but it is not transferring from the brainstem to reach to the inner ear. That doesn't mean it is a disorder. It is already there in the brain. It is neither a disease. It is just a processing problem. So when you start teaching the child how to process with squint vision, how to work with eye movement, there are so many cases I have seen till now. If they are not having squint vision, they are having habit of poking eyes, looking diagonally, looking centrally. Are you getting me? This is and this all thing affect handwriting. This all thing affect eye-hand coordination, like thread and beads, focusing. Okay, because of this processing problem. Then spinal cord, influence muscle tone and postural adjustment, means the children who are having W sitting, the children who are having walking pattern, dragging the legs, walking on tiptoes. Tiptoes is somewhat related to sensory also. It is not directly. If the problem with the spinal cord, child adapted how to go with, like, child understand how to walk. Then this muscle tone is not the problem with the spinal cord. It is the problem with sensory. Okay. Now thalamus and cortex, what happened? Interpretates input, play a role in motion perception and special orientation. As I told you, if you work on these 2 parts, cerebellum and oculomotor, cognitive abilities will automatically come. If you work on coordinations part, head control, these 2 parts, cerebellum and oculomotor, this part will automatically come, play a role in perception, and special orientation is a part of cognitive skills. Any question till now? No questions? Can I proceed? So all these 4 things, if the cords are not moving from the brainstem to the inner ear, there is a problem. So it is a processing problem. Now, what is seeking? There are so many people, so many other areas also, you might have heard with other peoples also, seeking behavior. So what exactly the seeking is in vestibular? It is very difficult to find out whether the child is really seeking or whether the child is understanding, because this is very small part. You can't make out easily whether it is related to auditory problem or child is seeking the sound. If auditory problem is there, like if the child is having any infections or anything in the ear, it is then you have to go to ENT. Are you getting me? But if the child is having very dizziness with the ear and all, like frequently moving with whenever certain things happens in the ear, frequent moving, then it is related to the sensory issues. So this is very important to make out what is seeking. Now it means that if a child is obsessively looking for something or to get ways to vestibular input, it can start to interfere with life. Like I'll give example. Like what happened, I'll take my example. According to me, see, for me the thing is, if I'm very conscious, if I'm doing certain important works, or if I have to read something, or if I have to do something very urgently, the thing happened with me, I can't sit on a certain place and do the work. Are you getting me? But it not happen when I go outside the house, when I go outside the environment. Okay, if I have to talk on a call, it happens with me, I can't concentrate without roaming. I can sit and only concentrate. But this is not happening when I am sitting in the car, when I am sitting in a bus, when I am sitting in a hotel, when I am sitting in any restaurant. Are you getting me? So, but these children, they keep on moving. They keep on moving. That means they are obsessing that input. They are obsessing that behavior. Means the child keep on jumping, keep on roaming. There is no matter whether it is related to the house, whether it is related to the outside environment. Why the child is doing? Because he is having no clue with the inner ear. He is having no processing with the inner ear, change of the environment, with the changing of the things. I have to change my body posture. I have to change my coordination with the environment. This, because of this processing problem, it is happening. Okay, so if the child is seeking behavior, what they will do? It means the child is obsessively looking. He will look for items. Like child will start jumping on the sofa, child will start jumping on the bed, child will start climbing on the heights. Everywhere he will find this seeking behavior. It can start to interfere with life. Life is related to the environment, not with the house. This fixation on movement happens because this is under processing the vestibular. Are you getting me? It is not because of over processing. It is not because of hypersensitivity. It is related to the under processing of the vestibular system. This means signal is not getting through, so they keep on trying it. How to calm down the inner ear signal, child is not getting, so they keep on jumping it. They keep on jumping. So what you have to do? You have to work opposite. Like climb dangerous height. They can spin frequently. They can keep on spinning. Seek out swinging. Never seems to get dizzy. Always moving and running. So if the children are doing all these things, they are related to under processing. And if the children is doing in specific areas, this is not at all related to the seeking behaviors. Are you getting me? Hello? Am I clear to you all? If the child is doing all these seeking behaviors in a particular area inside the house, child is not having seeking problem. If these things you can see in all the areas, like if these behaviors, spinning, climbing, jumping, if you can see in all the areas except the house environment, then the child is having seeking behavior. Now what is under responsive? The child will able to tolerate a lot of movement before it registered. Body will be in constant motion. Like if you have seen some children, like in some children you might have visited to so many therapy centers, you might have seen that if I give a swing to one child, if I give for 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes also, they don't bother. They will start creating an issue when it exceed much. That is under responsive child. They will be in steady motion. They will be keep on seeking. So that what is happening? The processing of the inner ear is getting late. They are getting late processing. So because of this, they keep on jumping. If the child is having a habit of jumping on toes, if the child is having a habit of spinning or seeking something, I am not telling related to body movements only. I am telling related to seeking with vision also. Taking something in the hand and seeking it. If the child is doing these things in all the environment except house, outside the house also, in changing of the environment also, that time it is related to seeking. If they are doing in specific thing, that time it is not related to seeking, it is related to the vestibular processing problem. Now, what child are over responsive or hypersensitivity to vestibular input? Child may not be able to handle movement at all. Because of this difficulty, child may avoid activities that are challenging balance, coordination. Simultaneously, it will affect oculomotor difficulties, meet difficulties related to the eye and head movement. So the children who are hypersensitive to vestibular input, what they will do? Handling at all means, what does it mean? If you make the child to lie down on the ball, they will lie down. They will lie down. You can give bouncing also. You can give everything on the ball. But when the turn will come to put pressures on the body, to maintain coordination with something, that creates a problem. And there are some children who are having mixed types of behaviors. Under and over also. But if the child is showing balancing, posture problem, putting weight problem along with jumping and spinning, it is related to proprioceptive and under responsive of vestibular. So don't mix it. Are you getting me? See, under responsive child can lie down on the ball, can lie down on the swing. But if I am giving that swing for 30 minutes, if I give for 1 hour also, there will be no problem. If I give swing highly also for 1 hour, there will be no problem. There are high chances you will find children with over responsiveness more than under. And over responsiveness children, what they do? They will lie down on the ball, you will start giving vestibular input, they will find little bit dizziness with the posture and balancing. If I ask the child to lie down on the ball and put up pressures on the joints or do some coordinated activities like taking a ring from the floor and put it on the table, or lie down on the ball and do thread and beads activity, any activity. So what they will do? They will find difficulty. Because why they will find difficulty? Because when they are moving from down to up, they are getting irritation in the inner ear. It is just a processing problem. So if you keep on practicing it, what else you can do? You can block one-sided ear and then work on the other. You can block with your finger itself and ask the child to do the movement. Somewhere you will find that there is a little bit coordination will come. But the children who are having mixed features related with proprioceptive and vestibular, they will show this problem. Avoid activities that are challenging balance and coordination, and simultaneously it will affect oculomotor difficulty. Oculomotor, the activities which are related to eye and head coordination. So the other thing will be hypersensitive, oversensitive to stimulations, dislike playground activities that include swing and spinning, slow motion, hesitation to take risk, uncomfortable in elevators and moving things. Now there is no hypo in this. There is no hyposensitive in vestibular. It is directly related to the gravity. So it will come gravitational insecurity. It is a type of hypersensitivity only. There is no hyposensitivity in vestibular system. So if the child is having gravitational insecurity, what they will do? Excessive fear to upright position. Upright position means if I ask the child to put the leg, if I ask the child to put the leg on the table and raise your hand on the wall, they will find difficulty. Why? Because they are having gravitational insecurity. If I don't ask to put the leg on the table itself, if I ask to stand, just put this like this, hold it like this, they will find difficulty. Why? Because the children who are having gravitational insecurity, their hands will always be like this. Their hands will always be like this to be conscious. They never try to balance their body in the gravity. Why? Because as soon as they will try to put the hand down and balance their feet on the ground, they will get dizziness. So with these types of children, you have to work more on calming techniques to calm down the child. Then you will give gravitational therapies. Then second thing, excessive fear of falling. This thing you will find in children who are having this tolerance problem. Then anxious when feet leave the ground, threatened by head being inverted. So these children are having gravitational insecurity. Actually, gravitational insecurity, some of the things like threatened by head being inverted, there are very few cases you will find in under responsive, very few. Mostly you will find in the child who are over responsive to all the things. Now the other thing will be, what are the calming, I am here only to share with calming techniques. Why? Because there are 90% you will find children who are having this problem, gravitational insecurity and hypersensitivity to all these things. All these things are directly proportional to the balance. Because of that, there is a problem in balance and coordination. So the 10 calming vestibular activities what you can give is rocking back and forth on a rocking chair. If you are not having a chair or if you are not having a ball also, I will tell you what you can do. You make your child, you stretch your legs. You sit on a chair, stretch your legs. Okay? Make your child to sit on this side and that side. On your legs. You can bounce like this. Linear motion. This is linear motion. I am telling all this when you are not having a ball or a rocking chair. If you are having a ball and a rocking chair, be very specific in giving the input. How you will give? You will give in linear motion only, because you are calming the child. You can't give this mixing together. No. It should be in linear motion. Then only the inner vestibular system will calm down. Other thing, performing gentle stretch specifically at the neck and the head. I'll tell you the stretch. Make a child, you take one chair, let the child to be sit on the another chair, you both sit like this. Okay? How you will do stretch? I have tried with one of the patient, they might remember it. Put your one hand here, other hand here and give a stretch. Are you getting me? This shoulder, you are sitting at behind, child is sitting in front. With one hand, you can try by yourself. You will find little bit you will find when you will stretch hard. See, you have to put this down, put your hand here, not on the child. It should be like this, just above the ear. It should be not on the ear. See what I am doing. It should be like this. Your shoulder joint will press down and your head will push opposite side. And what command you will give to the child? You will say, push me back. You will say, push my hand back, and you will keep on pushing in opposite direction. Are you getting me? This is the stretch of head and neck together. Individually, how you can give? Stretching the neck is pushing it down, pushing both the shoulders down at one time. And ask the child, you have to be very interactive with the child. It's not that you just are doing and child is looking here and there. No. Be very interactive when you are giving vestibular input. You have to keep on talking to the child. So when you are giving the stretch, like pushing it down, what you have to do? You have to tell the child, push me back. Lift your shoulders. You will push down, he will lift shoulder. You will push down, he will lift shoulder. This is the neck stretch. This, stretching the neck. This is head and neck stretch. Got it? This head and neck stretch should not be given just after the food. None of the calming techniques should be given just after the food. It should be given if you are very much like busy with the schedule, because these activities should be given in empty stomach. It will help more. As soon as the child wake up, give calming techniques. It will help more. It will show improvement more. Slow marching on a single line. I think I don't have to tell you about this. Slow marching on a single line. Slow marching means draw one line on a floor. He will do this. This is single line. Or else if you are teaching marching, hand will go like this along with the pattern. Got it? You have to notice the movement of the hand. There are high chances child will be like this and walking. So if the child is not understanding your command, move your hand. What is your work at their part? Sit down on the floor, hold the child feet, ask him to take the left leg out, then you hold the right leg and ask him to take the right hand out. Got it? Didn't understood? This is the straight line. Wait, can you see the screen? This is the single line. Okay. See, the child is here. Mother will sit here. This is left leg. This is right leg. Mother will hold the left foot and place it here. Then you will ask the child to bring the hand like this. Lift the hand. Marching, you understand? You people know marching or you don't know? Marching, you know? I can't hear you all. You all are on mute. Should I? So, your child will not understand if you say, do this. He is not at all bothered. Not at all bothering what you are saying. So, what is your work? To ask him to bring the foot, then the hand like this. This hand will be like this, then the hand. You will hold, your work is to bring the left foot out, hold the left hand and ask him to do this. Ask him to wait in this position for 10 counts. Then come back to normal. Then start with right. In the very day itself, you can't teach proper marching. Because whenever we are working with the swinging of the hand, every time when I swing my hand, there is a dizziness in the ear. Those who are having issues with sensory processing. That's why these children do walking just like that. They are not having stance faces. They are not having swinging of hand because of vestibular issues. Are you getting me? So marching, you can't practice very fast. You have to practice it very slow. Tai Chi for children. I'll share this photo in the last slide. I'll tell you what it is. This is a range of motion dance for the children. I'll tell you how you can teach your child. Yoga, of course, I know so many people are aware about yoga. Animal walk is specific with certain signals. There are, like I found, children are doing animal walk just like that. And people are saying, my child no animal walk. They are doing since long term. This is very wrong. child walk in their own way. So how you have to teach animal walk? With pause. Put some obstacle in between. Put some rings in between. Put some toys in between. He has to go very slow. Take the certain things, then give to you. Then again walk. Take the certain things and then give to you. Because if the child is doing any animal walk in their own pattern, it is not at all helping. An animal walk is related to proprioceptive, and proprioceptive is directly proportional to vestibular. So everything starts with vestibular. Are you getting me? Vestibular, proprioceptive, vestibular, proprioceptive. Everything goes circle in these two sensory system only. Okay. So tuck and rock, I think you know this game. Scooter board, ladder climbing. Ladder climbing, yeah, I have seen ladder climbing also. See, if the child is climbing a ladder just like that, climbing. If the child, see the child who is very over responsive, no, they can climb. They can climb very fast. So it doesn't mean your child no climbing. But if you ask the child to same thing, if you ask to do on stairs, stair climbing, they will find little bit difficulty. How we do stair climbing? We do stair climbing like one foot on one step, then another foot on another step, isn't it? If there are 5 steps, okay, so what we do? We put left here, then right here, then this left will go here, then this right will go here, isn't it? Like this only will climb, no? How we get down? If, see, this is left, this is right, like this left went here, then this is right, then this right is going here, then this left will go on the ground. So if suppose the left leg is on the ground and right leg is here, so can you tell me like which leg you will put first when you are coming down? Think and tell. See, I'll show you this again, then you will understand. See, if there are 5 steps, okay, this is left leg, this is right leg. First I put left, then right I am putting on the second. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right I am putting on the second. Then left will go on the third. Then right will go on the fourth. Then left will come on the fifth. That means ground. So I am standing and right will automatically come beside it. Then only you will walk somewhere, isn't it? So if I am standing, like if I am turning, so if I am turning, this will come this side and this will come this side, isn't it? If I am coming back. Are you getting me what I am talking? So this will come back. So I will make it right this side, left this side. Can you tell me which leg will come first when you are coming down? How? Okay. You always take left? No, okay. Anybody else? No. 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 Dominant side is only related to the upper limb. It is never related to the lower limb. No. It is universal. Universal is there. But if the children are having, I am not talking about children, I am talking about the people who are having stroke cases, the Parkinson's disease, the children, the people who are having ear problems, ear issues, using machines and all. They are having some issues when getting down. Think. You think, otherwise I'll say. Okay, you try today. You climb stairs consciously today. Try it. First you climb stairs with consciously, then you climb stairs just like that as you are doing normally every day. Then you can understand what is happening. It will come with left. Left only. It will come with left. That's why these children are having more balancing in the lower extremity towards left, upper extremity towards right.